Hey Leute und herzlich willkommen zu diesem neuen Video. Und zwar werde ich What Remains of Edith Finch spielen. Ihr seht hier schon im Hintergrund, dass ich es schon mal durchgespielt habe, weil ich es, ja, ich wollte es mal antesten und dann ging es aber so schnell, dass ich schon durch war und ich dachte mir, okay, jetzt wird es Zeit, dass ich es vielleicht mal aufnehme. Es ist ein Story-Game, also das ist halt ein Walkthrough theoretisch. Also da ist nicht viel Action bei oder so. Es ist halt, ja, wir fangen ein neues Spiel an. Ich finde das Spiel wirklich, ich finde es wirklich gut gemacht. Und ja. Ich hoffe, euch wird das Let's Play gefallen. Und ich hoffe, es wird nicht zu laut sein. Und wie ihr oben links also in dieser Ecke sehen könnt, die Facecam ist dabei. Ich hoffe, die nimmt nicht zu viel Platz weg, oben links in der Ecke, aber das wird ja eigentlich funktionieren. Ich habe vergessen, meine Kette auszuziehen. Aber das ist jetzt auch egal. Habe ich mein Armband noch um? Ja. Ah, egal. Das interessiert sowieso keinen, mein Gelaber. Geht's hier jetzt noch? Achso, lol. Ich dachte gerade schon, warum geht's nicht weiter?
A lot of this isn't going to make sense to you, and I'm sorry about that. I'm just going to start at the beginning, with the house.
Und zwar, diese Geschichte geht halt über Edith und über ihre Familie, wo die meisten Familienmitglieder halt leider schon verstorben sind. Und ja, das da hinten. Und hier hinten ist halt das Haus, was die damals gebaut haben. Relativ krasses Haus, auch sehr abgelegen.
Inside the mailbox were bills from 7 years ago, marked urgent, open immediately.
Okay.
I hadn't been back since my brother Lewis's funeral.
Ist halt schon echt schön hier so.
In her will, my mother left me a key, but didn't tell me what it unlocked. Maybe she thought I'd know. Or she thought that the mystery would be enough to bring me back.
Also ihre Mutter ist halt auch gestorben, wie man jetzt gehört hat. Und sie hat ihr einen Schlüssel für das Haus vermacht. Also vermute ich jetzt mal.
I wouldn't have driven this way in a long time, but I saw a few hoof prints.
Und Edith ist halt schwanger mit ihrer Tochter oder ihrem Sohn, das weiß man noch nicht ganz. Und sie verfasst halt ihre Familiengeschichte für ihr Kind. Dass ihre Tochter oder ihr Sohn halt weiß.
The truth is, even after I inherited the house, I never thought I'd come back to it.
Dass halt
questions about my family that only the house knew the answers to.
Dass halt ihre Tochter auch weiß, wie ihre Familie so gewesen ist. Auch wenn sie nicht kennenlernen wird.
The house was exactly like I remembered it, the way I'd been dreaming about it.
Ist halt schon ein krasses Haus, das ist einfach so.
As a child, the house made me uncomfortable in a way I couldn't put into words. I asked Edie once about the dragon in the pond. She said it had killed her husband. I was 6. It seemed like an odd joke to me even then. Now, as a 17-year-old, I knew exactly what those words were. I was afraid of the house. I hoped the key might unlock the front door. It didn't. Walking in, I felt like the house itself had been waiting for me.
Ja, dann. Als ob sie durch die Katzenklappe passt. Als Schwangere. Okay, Hundeklappe. Ja, und wie sie gerade gesagt hat, früher hat sie da auch eher durchgepasst. Sie war jetzt seit 6 Jahren nicht hier. Und wir werden uns jetzt mal hier umschauen. Schöne Garage. Typisch amerikanisch.
For the first time in years, I felt like I was home. But instead of a family, there were just memories of one.
Das ist
like how only one restaurant would deliver to our house, so we had Chinese a lot.
Na, ich würde gerne mal Chinesisch essen.
Or how after Lewis started working at the cannery, we all got sick of eating salmon. Except our cat, Molly.
Na. Ich hatte vorher sogar tatsächlich Angst, dass es hier irgendwelche Jumpscares gibt, aber...
The table was still a wreck from the night we left. It was like a bomb had gone off, killing everyone but sparing the furniture.
Aber hier kommen nicht wirklich Jumpscares. Es ist halt einfach nur so ein Game.
Nothing in the house looked abnormal. There was just too much of it, like a smile with too many teeth.
Ist halt... Ja.
Mom always told me to stay out of the basement, so I wasn't too surprised when the key didn't fit.
Dann machen wir mal die Spielo.
Great Grandpa Sven built a music box for Barbara, along with the rest of the house. A lot of things got left behind in the whirlwind of that last night. Edie told me once that every Finch who ever lived is buried somewhere in the library.
Gehen wir mal hoch, würde ich sagen, ne?
After Milton disappeared, Mom sealed up all the bedrooms. Then Edie retaliated and drilled peepholes.
Da gehen wir gleich rein. Na komm.
I spent a lot of time playing in Great Uncle Walter's room.
Schon schön
I think
gemacht.
my mom sometimes regretted not sealing it up. Lewis told me there were secret passages, but I never believed him.
Und der Schlüssel passt.
Turns out, my mom was really good at keeping secrets. Now it was time to find out what my mom had been afraid of. Reading this, maybe it sounds like I had a plan, but I had no idea what was behind that door. Just like I had no idea where all this was gonna lead.
Das ist das Zimmer von Molly.
I grew up looking at Molly's room through the Molly's gerbil had a tiny bedroom with its own even tinier gerbil cage.
Oh mein Gott, wie süß ist das? Okay, ins Badezimmer kommen wir nicht rein.
I got the sense Edie had spent a lot of time here before my mom sealed the doors.
Okay, Molly ist mit 10 Jahren verstorben.
December 13th, 1947. Dear Diary, I'll be gone soon, but I wanted to tell somebody about what's gonna happen. It started when Mom sent me to bed without dinner. I woke up and I was starving, so I looked around for something to eat. The gerbil food was dry, but I didn't mind it. My Halloween candy was all gone. I kept eating and eating. I ate a lot of things that night.
Ja, ein paar Sachen ist gut, Molly.
Then I heard chirping outside my window. It was a barn swallow going back to her nest. I reached out for her. And suddenly, I was a cat. I tried to be quiet, but the bird was really scared.
Vogel, wir kriegen dich.
I jumped and I almost got her. I could tell she was getting really tired. Now I was up in the big tree. I promised Dad I wouldn't climb it anymore. All I cared about was eating that mama bird. I gobbled her up.
Ui.
And suddenly, I was an owl. First, all I heard was the wind. Then I heard little teeth nibbling in the grass.
Wo denn?
Rabbits.
Also ich sehe keine Kaninchen. Ah, da vorne.
I imagined his face looking up and seeing mine through my talons. I swallowed him up, and I didn't chew one bit. Then I flew off to find something bigger.
Was denn? Ein Reh oder wie?
A mama rabbit.
Oder noch ein Kaninchen.
She
Why
was
not?
almost too big to carry. I started choking, but I couldn't stop eating. And suddenly, I was a shark.
Es ist halt schon irgendwie eine komische Story.
I rolled off a cliff and into the ocean. Now, I was hungrier than ever. I wanted fat, juicy seals.
Die Steuerung ist hier ein bisschen...
off her flipper, and it tasted really good.
Okay.
Grabbed on tight. But I was so hungry, I jumped out of the water. When I opened my eyes, everything had changed. Now I was a monster, and I smelled people everywhere.
Also ich glaube schon, dass wir ein Krake sind und kein Monster.
I was big, but I moved real quiet.
Okay. Ich wäre eigentlich lieber hochgegangen, aber... Genau in die Richtung.
After the last passenger, I was still hungry. And across the water, I smelled something new. Something I had to have, so I swam towards it. I slithered onto the sand, and the good smell went into an old pipe.
Also, so ganz die Story dahinter blicke ich jetzt noch nicht durch, also hinter der Geschichte von Molly. Weiß nicht, vielleicht habt ihr da ja eine Idee. Aber ich habe irgendwie gar keinen Plan. Aha! Jetzt sind wir hier bei
I
Molly.
got closer and closer. All my stomach started growling. And suddenly, I was me again. I held my breath for a long time, but I couldn't hear anything. I think it's waiting for me to fall asleep. But it's not going to wait much longer. It needs to feed, and we both know I will be delicious.
Also war es ein Albtraum von Molly. Oder wie?
I'm not sure if I believed all of that, but I'm sure Edie would have.
Dann würde ich sagen, gehen wir ins nächste
I can't
Zimmer.
describe
Ah
it,
ja,
but
okay.
I felt like some part of Molly was still here. This will be obvious later, but my mom never told me any of these stories. Edie would have, but Mom didn't like bringing up the past. Though, when we adopted a stray kitten, she was the one who named it Molly.
No.
I spent a lot of time in Great-Grandma Edie's room. Louis died a week before we left, but Edie had already started to memorialize him. Edie knit me a new pair of gloves every year, just in time to replace the old ones. Edie gave a big interview about a mole man living under the Finch house. My mom was furious.
Built 1937. Edith Finch.
When Edie told people Sven was killed by a dragon, she could also have said he was building a dragon-shaped slide that collapsed. She could have, but she didn't.
Ja, alles ein bisschen dramatischer machen.
Her room was like a museum.
Why not?
For 500 years, the Finches have been famous throughout Norway for their fortune and misfortune. Odin Finch buries the latest victims of the family curse, his wife Ingeborg and their newborn son, Johan. On January 7th, 1937, he set sail with his family and his house, hoping to leave the curse behind. But 40-foot waves off the coast of Washington send the house and Odin to the bottom of the sea. Odin's daughter Edie, with husband Sven and baby Molly, step ashore on their new home, Orcas Island. Odin Finch is the first to be buried in the new family cemetery. His daughter Edie is already dreaming of a new Finch house.
Ups. Ja.
Whatever's wrong with this family,
Also
it
war
goes back a long
Molly
way.
nicht ihre Schwester. Dann habe ich da vorhin was Falsches erzählt.
Even in her 90s, sometimes Edie seemed a lot younger than my mother. The only trace Grandpa Sam's first wife Kay left on the house was the pink bathroom.
Sieht doch ganz gemütlich aus.
It was a pretty big trace.
Und der Schlüssel passt bestimmt auch da rein.
There's a secret in this bathroom. It's in the last place you would look. It isn't in the cupboard. It's hidden in this book.
Ja. Das ist echt cool gemacht.
Sven gave Sam an old camera he'd refurbished. He never put it down. From the paintings on the wall, it was clear my brother Milton had been here before me. I knew Grandpa Sam had a twin, and that he never talked about him. I guess my grandpa didn't like history any more than my mom did.
Jetzt erfahren wir über die Story von
How I Want to
Calvin.
Remember My Brother by Sam Finch. The thing I remember is that when he made up his mind, that was it. My brother said he'd die before he ate another mushroom, and he did. At Barbara's funeral, we swore we'd never be afraid again, and he wasn't. I think Calvin always wanted to fly.
Sam! Calvin! Dinner's ready!
Coming!
But that day, he finally made up his mind to do it. I told him going around was impossible. Maybe if I hadn't said that.
And then, I'm not gonna tell you again.
Maybe if the wind hadn't picked up. Then maybe he'd still be here. But I doubt it. I think he'd already made up his mind.
Aber als ob das wirklich passiert ist.
That's what I want to remember about my brother.
Ist doch sehr unwahrscheinlich.
The day he made up his mind to fly. And he did.
Ja.
Calvin's story felt strangely familiar. When I was younger, I remember trying to do the exact same thing.
Aber ich würde damit sagen, das war's mit dieser Folge und wir sehen uns bei der nächsten. Peace out!